Okay, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I'm pretty sure everyone has some sort of idea about what it means to be the GOAT of something, whether it be sports or... take for example, soccer, the most popular sport in the world. People constantly argue whether the GOAT of the sport is Cristiano Ronaldo, who's won 33 trophies in his career, including 7 league titles, 5 UEFA Champions Leagues, the UEFA European Championship, and the UEFA Nations League. Or Lionel Messi, who has won a record 8 Ballon d'Or awards, a record 6 European Golden Shoes, and was named the world's best player for a record 8 times by FIFA. How about boxing? People have debated whether the butterfly and bee Muhammad Ali is the GOAT, or if Iron Mike Tyson has already surpassed the bar that Ali had set. Of course, these athletes respect each other, but obviously, the same couldn't be said for the fans of their respective sports. However, there has been the GOAT debate that is possibly as old as Joe Biden himself. Who is the GOAT of basketball? Some of you might be watching and saying, "Oh, that's so obvious, it's clearly Jordan." While the rest are saying, "Oh, it's LeBron, that's too easy." And the others are probably saying like Kobe or Duncan, I don't know. But the two main figures in the GOAT of basketball debate are Michael Jordan and LeBron James. As I'd said earlier, there's a clear war about who should be considered the GOAT. But why are there even debates about this? Look at hockey, they already decided that Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT. Make up your mind.
Yeah, that's exactly why Brian Scalabrine is the undisputed GOAT.
But what does it mean to truly be the GOAT? For as long as this debate's been going on, I've narrowed it down to 2 major factors: dominance and stats and/or records. By dominance, I mean physical dominance, as in, people would be horrified if like a 6'9", 5 million pound beast came charging towards your direct. And for stats, I mean the fact that the 6'6" guard was capable of winning 6 chips post-old era. But honestly, I think it's stupid, both of these factors. Why? Because they're so easily disprovable. Here, first, let's look at the arguments that people make against Jordan being the GOAT. It was a weak era, or the league was washed because of all the expansion teams. Okay, I mean, yeah, those are good points, but I'm like 80% sure that being the greatest of all time means that you were able to dominate your era so hard that people were literally calling you Black Jesus. Jordan won every finals that he was in, and only lost when he went to retire to play golf. Larry Bird certainly wouldn't have done that if he had it. And people say Jordan had a relatively easy path to the chips that he won. Like, huh? Sure, maybe you'd have a point if you're referring to the path to the finals, which, by the way, he had to face Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, and like Patrick Ewing. But the fact that he won the finals in those years means that he was able to beat the best teams in the East and the best team in the West. Sure, injuries play a factor into how easy a path to a chip is, but wasn't Jordan's competition relatively healthy? That's why I don't get about when people invalidate his accomplishments. And recently, people have also brought up the fact that his stat keeper converted some turnovers or something into his steals, which I wouldn't really complain about since other superstars tend to have that effect in their home court. However, it led to him being a DPOY, which I feel like he didn't deserve, and I believe it should have went to Mark Eaton, so yeah. But how about LeBron James? I find it stupid, and I mean stupid, when people say that he wouldn't dominate in the 90s. Like I said earlier, 6'9" and like 200 million pounds, and could run the entire court in like 4 steps. In what world would he not dominate? He dominated as a rookie, when the league wasn't as soft as it is today. And you're telling me he wouldn't absolutely body players like Mullen, Wilkins, and might I say Scotty? Larry Bird was the same height and he dominated without having to be physical. You think Sunshine couldn't do the same? And lots of people want to say, he wouldn't be able to do anything against Shaq. Why would he be matched up against Shaq? And besides, no one could do anything against Shaq. Aside from David Robinson, I guess, but that's besides the point. Basically, LeBron would have dominated. And what's this about people saying that LeBron is the GOAT because he was a better player than Jordan? Of course he's a better player than Jordan. Kobe was a better player than Jordan because he had a better 3-point shot. Doesn't mean he's the GOAT. Anyone in the modern era, Luka, Jokic, Giannis, and might I say Embiid, are currently better than like 60% of players back then. And that's no question. So with that logic, does that mean that in like 20 or 30 years time there'll be a new GOAT? Because players nowadays are excelling in ways we've never seen before. Which ultimately means that someone will eventually become better than LeBron. Maybe Wemby or Cooper Flag. Or maybe even that 2030 pick that the Spurs traded for Rob Dillingham or something. Ultimately, the debate over who truly deserves the title of the GOAT in basketball, or any sport for that matter, highlights not just our passion for competition, but also our desire to define greatness. While figures like Michael Jordan and LeBron James dominate conversations, it's important to remember that greatness can be subjective, shaped by individual experiences, preferences, and eras in which these athletes had played. Both players have left undeniable marks on the game, pushing the boundaries of talent and athleticism in their own ways. So whether you find yourself chanting Jordan or LeBron, what truly matters is celebrating their contributions to basketball and appreciating the joy and excitement that they bring to fans around the world. The GOAT debate will likely continue, but perhaps that's what makes sports so compelling. The ongoing conversations, the fierce loyalty, and the shared moments of exhilaration that unite us all. After all, in the grand scheme of things, isn't that what being a fan is all about? But personally, if I had to choose who I would consider my GOAT, I'm obviously choosing Thanasis Antetokounmpo.